Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, no matter where you are. Thank you very much for watching my video today. We'll be looking at the S-View wallet case for the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Now, with this case, I purchased it with the brand new Galaxy S23 Ultra, specifically because it has the S-View cutout, which shows the time, the date, your battery. You can access media controls through here, and you can also customize this little area by just long pressing on the exposed portion and then making your selection through here. There are additional little options on here, frankly nothing too life-changing, so as far as gimmicks go, it looks kind of cool visually. Secondly, the other thing that I wanted to do is kind of reduce the amount of stuff that I'm carrying in my pockets. So it actually has a little slot here for a card. Now, Samsung prefers that you only use one in there, and the idea is that when you lay it flat on its back, the case will properly close and you won't have too much of a seam. Now, frankly, this does not impact usability as this thing's going to flop open, regardless if you have one or two cards in here. So I don't really think there's any reason why you couldn't use two cards almost exclusively. I mean, the thing's going to flop open anyhow, so does it really matter? On the back here, as you can see, the cutouts for the camera, the flash, the laser autofocus are all perfect. There's a little bit of lift on there as well. So, I mean, if this thing's getting hucked off the side of a building, probably isn't going to survive the fall. But it does provide some protection, around the house, dropping on carpet, dropping on hardwood, etc., etc. On the bottom, same thing. We have plenty of room for the speaker cutout, the charging port, and also the S Pen slot, easily accessible. And then over here we have some, I want to say, plastic buttons for the power and volume. Now, overall, this is a great looking little case. It has a bunch of little unique features that you're not going to find on, any other competitors' like cases, but there's also just some foundational mistakes that Samsung made when creating this thing. And there's three of them. The first one is these buttons on the side are god awful. Like, it almost feels like they're not aligned with the actual power and also the volume buttons on here. There's no tactile click. There's no feedback. Like, it is really difficult to tell whether or not I'm pressing the button or not. I'm just jamming my thumb into it and hoping that, it's going to do what I want it to do. Secondly, and I kind of showed this earlier, this case desperately needs like just something to keep these two pieces from flopping open. Like, this is just such a limp way of trying to get something accomplished. Like, it just looks bad. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways that they could have made sure that this was a little bit snug, and they just decided to do nothing. This is essentially like a 99-cent binder that you can get at the Dollar Tree, just folded up a couple of different ways. Finally, my biggest gripe on this thing is that if you're going to use the camera, the case obstructs the camera. Like, look at that. I'm not making this up. This is me just folding the case. And even if I'm trying to align all the cameras in the hole, it is impossible. And if I want to have the flash as well, you just can't. You have to pick your poison. Well, frankly, I'm going to say pick any other case. It is hard to suggest something that doesn't close right, that doesn't feel good when you use it, and also literally gets in the way of like the reason why you spent so much money on the device in the first place. Like, this is not acceptable. Samsung, if you're listening, I mean, I have a pretty easy solution for you. First and foremost, just put a little magnet here and like a piece of metal on the other side. Boom, then it's shut, closed. Secondly, this card slot, great idea. You don't necessarily have to make it hold more cards. Just put it lower. Like, seriously, look, we had this much room that you could have had for camera cutouts this direction and also this direction, which would have also made the actual S-View portion bigger. And that's less material that you would have to use. Like, it's just such a bummer that for a $50 case by the actual manufacturer of the phone just has these easily avoidable things that they knew would have obstructed or gotten away of using the device. Please do not buy this case. The only time I could really recommend it to you is that if you know somebody that's willing to buy it off you if you got it for free, and even then, you'd have to hate the person. If you have any questions, if you have any feedback, or you just want to see something else about the Galaxy S23, let me know down below and I'll see what I can do. Until then, take it easy, guys. See ya.